Hey guys, thank you so much for subscribing and watching the videos. As you can see, I'm in selfie mode. I don't have anybody recording me today. So I must apologize for not having posted last week. Yeah, in regards to the semi-finals, I won't lie. I had actually tipped New Zealand to just pip England by 3 points, and I'd also tipped South Africa to win by 3 points as well, because I wanted an All Southern Hemisphere final, and yeah, I just didn't want England to be in the final, or I just didn't want the trophy to go to the Northern Hemisphere, So I got the New Zealand result wrong. There's an epic performance by England. I think for me, it just looked like New Zealand didn't get off the bus. It just looked like they were stuck in first gear and they didn't know how to handle the sort of momentum that England came into that game with, and from a physical point of view, they, which is pretty strange. But I think again, it just shows that I think it speaks to that first game that we had against New Zealand, where in those first 20 minutes we were all over them, but we didn't manage to score that try and really put them under enormous pressure. So I think that's what England might have learned from us, is that they had a crack over 20 minutes and they really put New Zealand under pressure, and again they understood that there will be a time, just like in any rugby game, there will be a time where the other team gets that purple patch and they have that momentum, and they were able to negotiate that, and keep New Zealand at bay. Although New Zealand also, look, like I said, I think, you know, the Moanga Barrett sort of, it wasn't an experiment anymore because they'd settled on it, but that didn't work. That combination, at the end of the day, it failed because it's like having two captains of the ship. There's got to be a one general. You can't have two generals of an army. And yeah, he needed to make. I felt like Steve Hansen needed to make a decision on who his general is going to be. It's not like back in the day where they had Carter and they knew that Carter was their number one guy. And yeah, so I think that's where New Zealand sort of lost it as well. They just didn't get off the bus. They just really got out muscled, got dominated. Then yeah, like talking about Wales and South Africa, I think that was a very, very. The first half was perfect from the Springboks. We played where we wanted to play. We were in their half. Again, the only concern is that we didn't get as many points as we could have or should have. Especially when we were under advantage, I felt like our strike plays didn't come off. Where we could have potentially scored one or two tries to really, pull that gap. But I think everything else worked well for us. Our scrum worked well, our set piece from a line-up perspective worked well. You know, breakdowns, I think we can still work on our breakdowns. I think, we've sort of moved away from what we were doing in the rugby championship where, we always had those cleaners there quickly to secure the ball. And that's something that England are very good at, So coming to this weekend against England, I think South Africa, we're going to have to look after our own ball. And from a physical perspective, I think we can definitely handle them, we can definitely put them under pressure. They haven't changed their team. They've got a strong pack, yes, in terms of the starting pack. The bench is not as strong as our bench. We've essentially have two packs that we can win this game with. As long as our goal kicking is spot on from Andre Pollard, and as long as we don't make as many mistakes. Only thing that I'm worried about is that if they try a kicking game that our wingers are not really okay. Cheslin can kick. Villy, of course, he can kick as our fullback, but Magazoli Mapimpi, he's not renowned for his kicking game. So I think maybe they may potentially target his wing, and trying to put him under pressure, and keep the ball away from Cheslin. Of course, they're going to try and keep the ball away from Cheslin because he's just that good and is that dangerous of a player, and yeah, so I just think as well, like in the midfield, Lucanio Arm and Dialende, they've got the work cut out for them this weekend. This is where they're going to earn their money. They have to stop that England backline because our defenses are similar in terms of our outside centre shooting up and closing off the outside channel. That's what England does as well. Whenever the other teams are on attack. So I think first up, we just have to, hit their big boys very hard. Vunipola, we got to smash him. That's Billy, the number 8. The prop as well, elusive prop, that's Marco Vunipola. We also have to make sure that we dominate him in terms of from a physical perspective. I think this game is just going to be determined by, the team that can really assert their physical dominance, firstly, and I think we can put doubt in England's head if, we can really nullify what they're trying to implement, because the fact of the matter is that the Springboks are underdogs. We came in under the radar. England, having dismantled the All Blacks, they're really primed to win the World Cup. It's their World Cup to lose. So I think for us, it's a matter of being measured in our approach, sticking to our guns from a physical perspective, and throwing in a couple of surprises, playing off Cheslin. I think we need to get Cheslin into the game. Maybe there can be some controversy in this final, considering that this World Cup has had a lot of controversy, where, we can have a high tackle here or there, because Cheslin is quite a slippery customer, and I think they'll struggle to tackle him. But, all in all, I think everything says England to win the World Cup based on their performance against New Zealand, but South Africa hasn't really put in a monumental performance in this World Cup. They really haven't. A glimpse of it was maybe against Japan, in that second half, but a consistent 80-minute performance we haven't yet seen. So, yeah, as much as everything looks like England are going to take this one, I'm still going with the Boks, and I'd say Boks by 2 points, can be anything from like 16-14, so that's my pick, putting my head on the block. Like I said, in terms of that first game, is that, he who loses this game, or he who wins this game loses the final. So, well, New Zealand are not in the final, but I feel like Springboks are primed to take this game. So, yeah, I'm going with the Boks. Let's support the boys, let the boys play. And yeah, look, it's the final week, final game. Anything can happen because it's on the day. Any given day, doesn't matter how well coached you are. If the guys step up on the day, we can definitely take it. It's 2-2 against England. So it's the 5th game. So I think we're primed to take this one. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Look out for the next video after the final that will come through. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching my channel, subscribing, sharing it. I'll be sure to post more stuff around rugby. And yeah, all rugby, and look out for what's to come.